All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with Jason Fishman. Jason, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
Thanks, Kevin. Excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this.
I have been too. I have been too. And I want to start off by giving a shout out to your person, your PR person, Khalil. Uh, they they are absolutely amazing at talking you up, Jason. They did such a great because I'll tell you, as a podcast host, we get emails every single day, people who want to be guests on the show and stuff, and most of them just aren't a right fit, or they don't connect, or they don't get the real feel of what we're all about. But I'll tell you what, Khalil does. He got us, and he got you. And man, what a beautiful message that was that he sent. Because by the time I'm done reading it, I'm like, heck yeah, I want to talk with Jason and get to know him. And you and I got to have that conversation and get to know each other a little bit. And now here we are to do this interview. And I'm just so Khalil, if you happen to be listening to this,
Oh,
thank
he,
you.
he will.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Khalil is awesome. He's
Yeah.
amazing at what he does, and flattered to hear you talk about our team that way, as well as my,
Yeah.
background. I hope I can live up to the expectations for you here, Kevin. And glad to hear we got through.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you, I have no doubt you're going to live up to the expectations because we're just going to have a heart-to-heart conversation today, and I'm
Absolutely.
really excited to have this conversation with you, Jason. And we were talking before, that we hit the record button. We're just on the tail end of the World Series here and stuff. And
Yes,
I'm from the Seattle area, you're from the LA area, so it was an exciting couple of weeks, man.
absolutely. And I feel sports bring people together. I
Yeah.
was mentioning my uncle was a big Mariners fan, was watching with my family here in Los Angeles. We've lost at the World Series before, and it was just good baseball. It was good
Yeah.
sport. And I
Yeah.
felt that game seven, whoever won, this was
Oh
amazing
man.
to
Yes.
witness. And a lot of
Yes.
great business analogies and pushing through, even when the percentages are against you. I was going over it with my team this morning, showing them a picture of Pajes making the catch, even
Yeah.
knocking over his teammate and making sure it
Yeah,
happened
he
one way or
almost
the
bowled him
other.
over.
Not textbook, but we would have lost if that ball landed. And
Yeah. Yeah.
hats off to both sides. That was an amazing,
For sure.
amazing thing to be a part of,
Yeah.
even from the other side of the television.
That's right. That's right. Well, I would like to start, Jason. I want to, just kind of turn over to you a little bit, and I want
Sure.
to start off, but just by giving you the opportunity to talk a little bit about your business, about what you guys do, and who you serve. Let's start there.
Absolutely. If anyone's not familiar with us, we are DNA. We are an investor marketing and user acquisition agency focused on that investor acquisition piece. We do so by targeting investors with advertising, outreach, bringing them down marketing funnels on behalf of brands, on behalf of issuers who are issuing shares, debt, convertible notes, safes, filed with the SEC, different types of international filings as well that could be utilized here, but have worked on over 500 of these deals. They've collectively produced nine figures of capital, have worked on campaigns this year alone here in 2025 that have surpassed over 100 million in what
Wow.
they've raised altogether. And I like to focus in this area, both because it's new and we could be of value and be of impact. I can go over the history. We've actually been working on the campaign since 2016, but still relatively new. But because many brands, many businesses fail, period. And a lot of them fail because they're undercapitalized. So as
Uh-huh.
soon as I learned, hey, I could use my digital marketing skill set and bring the right investors to a marketing funnel and actually measure conversion and a return on ad spend and total transactional value, I said, hey, I can really be of impact to the groups that are having trouble meeting new investors. I mean, these filings were built to democratize access to capital for founders and to growth stage deal flow, private company investment opportunities for retail and accredited investors. So it's a really exciting thing to be a part of. We are on the front lines of performance. If a campaign doesn't work, it could mean more than losing the World Series.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it carries a lot of pressure with it, but at the same time, if we're communicating that well to the clients and are able to put numbers on the board for them, it's very fulfilling to be a part of.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you get into this line of work, Jason?
Sure, sure. So my background is in ad tech, advertising technology. I was
Okay.
actually part of a social gaming startup here in Los Angeles, and was playing a role in the capital raise. We were successful, over 3 million in seed capital raise, but I created so many different versions of the deck, was part of countless meetings. I saw all the inefficiencies. That company merged with an advertising company, an advertising network. I started working with Fortune 500s there, but was asked to partner in this agency,
Okay.
DNA, and be a growth marketing firm. I quickly found that fundraising was a common part of the conversation, whether we were being asked to work on the marketing section of a business plan to present to investors, the pitch deck, a first campaign that once successful, the results would be presented to an investor and they'd put in more capital to scale what we were doing, even being asked to participate in the investor presentations, the meetings themselves. It was a regular part of the discussion for us. So
Okay.
once I learned first through Reg D 506C, which allows solicitation of accredited investors. You can market to high net worth, high household income audiences. I was able to utilize my advertising background to tap into different data partnerships that I have to target those people specifically. Advertising targeting's nothing short of amazing. And we were able to raise $2.83 million dollars on our first
Wow.
campaign. That was for Rayton Solar. This is actually back 2015. Reg
Okay.
CF, regulation crowdfunding, went into effect after being passed as a law and activated by the SEC in May of 2016.
Okay.
So that then gave us the ability to target both retail and accredited investors, any adult.
Gotcha.
And we were at the forefront of that. Had advertising live day one, began working on Regulation A plus campaigns later that year. It's the last filing terminology I'm going to throw at you. But today you can raise up to $5 million dollars on a Reg CF campaign,
Okay.
up to up to 75 million. We're hoping for 150 million soon in an expansion, but up to
Okay.
75 million on a Regulation A plus campaign. And as a marketing agency, it's important to have a specialization, a niche. And we kind of fell into this area. We succeeded. We kept getting introductions to more issuers, more of the portals. Those are the FINRA regulated portals, the marketplaces where many of these deals are hosted. You go on a website, there's 60, there's 150 different campaigns live. So we built referral partnerships, strategic partnerships, and just got introductions and more introductions and more introductions. I mean, as an agency, these are shorter length campaigns and smaller
Okay.
budget in many cases. However, there's then extensions, campaigns, the budgets scale up as the performance is there. If you're getting a 10x return on ad spend, a 29x return on ad spend, it's hey, how many more of these investors can we buy? So we've been able to find attractive elements of working in this space, as well as our relationships, partnerships with VCs, investment banks, all different types of funds and firms. There's a lot of things that are really great about focusing in this area as a marketing agency. But there was a path for us to really grow into it.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So with well, let me ask you this. So what inspires you most about the work you guys get to do and the impact you're making, Jason?
What inspires us most for me goes back to a stat I learned before starting the agency, almost to
Okay.
scare me away of 9 out of 10 businesses fail in their first year.
Mhm.
9 out of 10 that survive fail the next year. That's a stat in a book I read, the E Myth, the Entrepreneur Myth, the
Yep.
difference of
Yep.
working in your business versus on your business, and how many entrepreneurs are really self-employed versus working on the business. But I don't find that to be acceptable. I'm part of the Los Angeles, accelerator community. I work with a lot of the groups out here, work with some of the universities, work with a lot of founders, and want to do whatever I can to make sure the right eyeballs are on their products, their companies, their brands. And back to that statement earlier of the funding could be the make or break for them.
Yeah.
So easier
Yeah.
tools to be a part of these campaigns. We watch our clients' teams grow. In many cases, their offices, their equipment, and their market share.
Yeah.
I've seen groups go from $20 million valuations to $3.5 billion valuations.
Wow.
So this is powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And again, to be part of a successful campaign, we have many in the top charts. Uh, we're here in November, was looking at the October industry-wide report this morning and going over the details with my team. We have to keep a close watch, not just on the
Mhm.
campaigns we're a part of, but the others that are live and the industry as a whole. And I'm part of some professional organizations where we're really looking to see a higher success rate of these capital raises industry-wide. We're looking to get more awareness as a whole. So being able to watch everything grow from the company to my team to the clients' teams, that's what gets me up in the morning.
Yeah. What's your vision for the company going forward, Jason?
Well, there's been about 7,000 companies that have used regulation crowdfunding, a Reg CF, a Form C filing. I believe there's 24 million some odd small businesses in the US. I anticipate a lot more awareness.
Okay.
We're working on, as part of the Crowdfund Professional Association, the CFPA, getting a tax credit for investors who place funds into these deals. That would put regulation crowdfunding on the tax form for every American, at least potentially.
Mm.
I see, you know, a couple years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, this will be the primary approach towards capital formation.
Okay.
And we're
Okay.
positioning for that and higher volumes of clients, larger teams, more streamlined systems while still providing a personalized service and utilizing our audience data first party at this point,
Okay.
lists we've
Okay.
built through data collection and matching. So already looked at as one of the top, if not the top group in the space. I like to say one of the top. I'm a big fan of my competitors and look at it as a rising tides lift all ships scenario.
Mhm.
But being able to make it easier for groups with the right team, the right company, the right product to reach investors that really care about what they're doing, get behind them, and put in funds to be
Yeah.
able to allow for growth and, again, more market share.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. There,
Thank you.
there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, you see a lot of
Oh, yeah.
opportunity coming up. And how awesome is that? And yeah, wow. Wow. Okay, so now we've got a little bit of context set here. Um, I want to switch gears just a little bit, and I want to start swinging over to the relationship side of this conversation. And I want to,
Sure.
so Jason, have you ever met or been introduced to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
In business, it's all about relationships. There's
Yes.
sayings such as your net worth is your network.
Yes.
Some people say it the other way around. Your network is your
Yep.
net worth.
Yeah.
I could think of many different referral partners, different strategic partnerships that I could answer with. But I actually want to talk about my partner, our co-founder, COO, Tim Martinez. I
Okay.
met him in 2009 at a conference, ASR, Action Sports Retail. He was a professional skateboarder at some point, worked in this world of snow, skate, surf type sports. This was the big
Okay.
conference at the time in San Diego. And I said, I'm here. I should probably attend one of these workshops. Was on the fence about it, and last minute walked into one titled 50 Ways to Promote Your Skate Shop.
Okay.
I'm a marketing guy. This is of interest to me. I grew up skateboarding here in Southern California and was very impressed by the speaker, Tim. There were 50, maybe 100 business owners taking notes on everything he said. They were engaged. He really knew what he was talking about.
Mhm.
So I said, he's based in Los Angeles. He said so. Let me go talk to him. I had to wait in line for a good 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
But I got up there and the first thing he asked me was, How old are you? This is 16 years ago, a
Uh-huh.
few years older than me. So we hit it off, had a great discussion. He said, I'm in Hollywood. The agency you're working at is in Hollywood. Why don't we grab coffee sometime? I
Mhm.
took him up on the offer. This is early in my career. I'm getting out there, making relationships, but he stood out to me, and again had a great conversation. I started pulling him into projects that I was working on at the agency. Later, actually worked for his agency before getting into the social gaming company.
Okay.
And when I was at the network, he was one who asked me and said, "Hey, are you interested in starting a new firm? I'm consulting these companies that have no idea what they're talking about in terms of digital marketing. I think we could build some strong products, service them, have it all based on performance and results." And we did.
Wow.
We created DNA. He's brought in countless introductions since incorporating. Uh, he's been a close contact to me, like a brother, if you will, and I don't say that ever. But again, a few years older than me, almost acts as a consultant advisor for me as a CEO on a day-to-day basis. And we have our schedule throughout the week, our whiteboard meetings, our retreats throughout the years. We've been able to grow this together. So my
Wow.
path would not have been the same if I didn't stick around, if I didn't check out that workshop, if I didn't look to connect, if I didn't build that rapport.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people might say, man, that's what an off chance. Or, maybe I've been to events like that and I saw speakers that, man, really resonated with me. But I just thought, oh man, they're already doing this or whatever story we would tell, because they're on stage, we're not, we're an attendee. And maybe we put them on some kind of a pedestal or something, or they're already really successful. Why would they even want to talk to me?
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody that might be thinking like that?
Don't be bashful. Don't let your emotions get to you. You're there for a reason. I was at the conference to build relationships.
Yeah.
Why would I let that self-doubt and, little thoughts in the mind, oh, maybe I'm too young or he's busy, everyone wants to talk to him, why stick around? And I encourage my sales team, hey, attend some of the speaking engagements at these events. Talk to the people who are actually speaking. Sometimes, even if we don't catch the presentations, I'll have my team reach out to the speakers afterwards. They're there for a reason. They're looking to have an outcome for
Yeah.
their time that they're investing
You
into the
bet.
event. And that's how it's done. And make sure you're playing for measurable results as well. When I send a biz dev rep to a conference, I want to see 25 cards, contacts. It's not all cards these days, a day, and the speakers are an excellent target because they're thought leaders, they're experts. There's probably things you guys can do together. So whether, they're on television or, a billionaire or leading a workshop, whatever it may look like, don't be afraid to go up to them and
Yep.
talk to them. There's no telling what it could look like 16
That's
years
right.
into that relationship.
That's right. That's right. 100%. 100%. So, what is an example of a situation where you personally, Jason, you got to make a really substantial impact and maybe even in the moment, maybe it even surprised you a little bit where you were like, wow, look at what just happened there. And you also know that would have never been possible if not for your relationship with Tim. What's an example of something like that?
Wouldn't have been possible without my relationship with Tim.
Yes.
Well, even this crowdfunding, investment crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding piece,
Okay.
we saw success with the Reg D campaigns. We were first introduced to the platform that they were hosted on, Fundable. There was others, Crowdfunder, Flash Funders. I think all three, at least two of the three, from Tim. It was Tim's relationship with Fundable, and they
Okay.
had a business plan, writing company that was associated, maybe a partner, maybe same ownership. He had connected with them through that, and he said, "Hey, they're doing something interesting with reaching investors online. We should talk to them." So that's kind of what kicked this off. And then after the success of those campaigns, he said, "Hey, I have a friend in the film industry, entertainment. company, go figure, here in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, we should do a meeting with them. They have a crowdfunding company. Now, they were working on Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns. However, they saw what we were able to do with advertising and said, hey, you want to run some ad campaigns for us? And we were getting white labeled, meaning we were behind the scenes. They were just using the traffic, the performance as part of their own account management with the clients. But that really kicked things off. And then the gentleman we had met with started his own crowdfunding agency shortly afterwards. Became a partner in that one. We worked on over 40, 50 deals in the next 12 months. This was 2015, 2016. And they actually brought us to our first Reg CF campaign. That one that was, May 2016, right when Reg CF began. They brought us to that and then saw, hey, DNA is good at this. Their longer campaigns are different than the Indiegogo Kickstarter campaigns. Let's just forward all of those deals to DNA. So Reg CF, we were just handling directly. We weren't white labeled. It wasn't, a partnership, managed service. They were bringing us on board. They just forwarded them right over to us.
Okay.
So chain of events, right? But that's directly how we got involved with investment crowdfunding. Wouldn't have been possible without it.
Okay. Wow. I'm really glad that I asked that question and that you shared that story. In fact, I would just take a note because I'm like, oh, because I do that all the time. I always default to like, oh, who do I know that I should connect him with now that I know this?
Yeah.
So now my mind's we'll talk about that later. So
Okay. And I'm
oh
big on origin stories and how things unravel and how they grow from there. So I'm glad you asked it as well too. I'm kind of retracing these steps. It's not something I talk about every day.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I've heard that a lot on this podcast, that when I do interviews, so many of the entrepreneurs have told me, Kevin, nobody has ever asked me this question around
Mhm.
relationships before and stuff. And and so it is been a really awesome experience to just have all these conversations talking about relationships and stuff because man, it's inspiring. I mean, you are definitely inspiring for me, Jason, and I know
Glad to
you're
hear
going to
it.
be inspiring for other entrepreneurs who get to listen in on this too and stuff.
That's
And
why I do
so,
this. That's awesome.
amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, um, what I know I already asked you about your vision and stuff, but so eh, for somebody who because I know entrepreneurs that they have not placed a really high focus on relationships. They built their business, they're successful at it and all that, but for whatever reason relationships, until they started talking with me about it and stuff, that wasn't always the top of their priority. And for me, I have felt for years that as entrepreneurs, relationships are our most valuable asset and stuff. And I know you feel that way.
I
What
do.
would you say to an entrepreneur who is maybe they've been watching some of these interviews and stuff and they really starting to realize, you know what, man, I'm seeing more and more of this and Kevin is doing this stuff and like, man, I am starting to get this picture about relationships and I do want to expand. I do want to create more meaningful, real, rewarding relationships. What would you say to that entrepreneur, Jason?
Well, first of all, I 100% agree with you. I've been quoted, I believe on Forbes and part of the Forbes Agency Council, that building strategic partnerships has been instrumental to the success of our business. And it's something I would tell uh, a founder, let alone someone who's creating an agency tomorrow, to incorporate into their business plan, marketing plan, their model. I could tell you that I went to great lengths to do this because I saw how effective it was for us. LinkedIn outreach, as an example, 2018, 2017. We were working on more of these Reg CF campaigns. At that point, it was, hey, we've raised over $10 million, working with over 40 issuers. And I would take that messaging to some of the other FINRA regulated portals through a
Okay.
simple LinkedIn invitation and message. And I was getting on the phone with them right and left and hold those relationships dearly today. I mean, we're talking 7 years longer at this
Mhm.
point, and all through a simple LinkedIn message. So for me, one tactic that's been very efficient and really allowed us to accelerate and grow has been LinkedIn outreach. Doesn't have to be LinkedIn. Could be going to physical events. Could be email. Could be talking to your network and looking for introductions. But with LinkedIn, I think it's an underrated tool. You can send 25 invitations per day from your profile. Could
Okay.
be higher numbers if it's more people on your team and utilizing their pages. Maybe they're doing the outreach.
Mhm.
But you can search for company, job title, company size, industry, zip code. Proximity has a power to it.
Mhm.
And with the invitation, send a message. If you look for a 20% or higher acceptance rate, you're in a good place, which means, 8 out of 10 may not accept the invitation, at least not immediately. It may only be 5 out of 10 and a 50% acceptance rate. But 20% is still very workable. Then you can message these new contacts. 3 messages, five. You may not want to go too much further than seven, but even in three, I'll add a scheduling link in there by message three and streamline the booking process. Have a very clear call to action, a very visible opportunity on how we could connect.
Okay.
And I think every founder, if not every professional, should be doing this. There's some automated tools you could use, but start manually, really customize the messaging and build more of these relationships on a daily basis with people who could introduce you to your target audience, people who could introduce you to vendors and service providers, people who can really add more value towards your focuses.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I really appreciate what you've shared here, Jason. And for anybody else that's listening into this, going, man, Kev, I really like Jason. I like who he is. I like how he shows up. I like what he stands for. And I'm really curious about some of the stuff that he was talking about here because maybe he can help us, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else that I might want to connect him with. For anybody else that would like to follow up and get any websites, any resources we can share with them, Jason.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you can go to our website, digitalnicheagency.com.
Okay.
We're on LinkedIn. You could find us there. Would definitely encourage you to check out our YouTube. Haven't mentioned my podcast, Test, Optimize, Scale. That's my
Uh-huh.
approach towards entrepreneurship and growth. Have over 200 episodes on our playlist on our YouTube channel. We also put out a monthly webinar, educational piece with a
Okay.
new deck every month, the webinar with a different team member every month, the podcast with a different guest every week. Put out a lot of articles, content.
Oh, hold on. I just lost your audio, Jason. Nope, I still don't have you. Oh,
Okay, well, I could use my computer
I
mic
got you now. I got you now.
in addition to our YouTube channel, website, everything on LinkedIn or any of the social media pages that we publish on, all the major ones, of course. Don't hesitate to reach out to me on
Okay.
LinkedIn as well. I look to connect, I look to build partnerships, relationships, and I am an open book. I look at it as a duty to share the metrics, the channels, the tactics that are required to run a successful investor acquisition or growth marketing campaign.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. Any last thing that you feel led to share, Jason, before we call it a wrap?
Well, I talked about raising capital, and what I would encourage listeners, viewers to do is do more.
Mhm.
Don't think, hey, I have a few relationships. I'm going to be able to hit what I need in terms of the goal for my round. Maybe I'm running an investment crowdfunding campaign online. Maybe I'm talking to investors offline, but do more. And if you're exploring investor acquisition campaigns, it's all about driving enough traffic at a high enough conversion rate. I could talk to you about how many visitors it needs, 50,000 visits per million, $2 million raised, and at a 2% conversion rate, and $1,000, $2,000 average investment amount. Engage experts. Talk to me, talk to other folks in the space, talk to Kevin. Do not be bashful. If I was,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
where I am today.
Yeah.
We are all a resource to you. Reach
That's right.
out, even if it's 2 out of 10 of these experts getting back to you and it's a numbers game. If someone's been down your path before, if someone works with others like you and could give you, I'll call it cheat codes towards, you know, skipping steps that are a waste of time and budget, getting you to areas that you're going to need to find yourself at, but quicker and safer.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Reach out. All of the infos, the learnings are out there.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, Jason, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today. I really appreciate it. I really
Of course.
appreciate you, and I'm excited to get this out there and share it with a lot of other folks. So, thank you so much.
Me as well, Kevin. Thanks for putting this on. It's an amazing platform, amazing show that you have. I could tell why your listeners and viewers are so engaged.
Yeah. Thanks, Sue.